Getting all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to a special video, special rebuild that I have for you today. So, I had been going through some different concepts, some different ideas, trying to think, what can I do new? What can I do differently that my channel hasn't seen at all? And what can I do to get some more interest from you guys and stuff like that? And I came up with this idea that I don't think anybody has ever done, at least not on Madden 25, certainly. I'm sure it's been done at some point in the past, because at this point it's very hard to come up with brand new ideas that nobody's ever done in the Madden community. So throughout all of YouTube time, somebody's done everything. At least some person has done everything on this video game franchise. So I'm assuming that somebody at some point has done this concept before, but I don't think I've ever seen it. And if I have, then I apologize. Or if I haven't, and it already has been done, then I apologize for saying that it's never been done before. But as far as my knowledge is, it's never been done, at least not on Madden 25. So what my idea is, I'm going to take players from the NBA, the top tier NBA players, and we're going to see if they can win a Super Bowl. They're going to play football. Yeah. So you've got guys like LeBron James, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Giannis, Jason Tatum, among many others that are going to be converting to the NFL. They're going to be hanging up their sneakers for some football cleats. And we're going to see how this goes. I'm very excited because I personally made this roster myself, and I did upload it to the Madden file share community, so you can go and download it if you want and experiment with this roster yourself. I think it's pretty fun. I added one NBA player, at least one NBA player to every, excuse me, still dealing with the cough. One NBA player to every single position, and then positions that obviously you need more than just one player at a starter, I added 3 or 2. So I think at wide receiver, I have 3 NBA players. At D tackle, there's 2 NBA players. Corner, there's 3 NBA players. So stuff like that. So basically, we could fit a 4-3 defense is how I did it. So if you want to go download it, you should have seen or are seeing now a little screenshot of what the roster file name is, and you can go download it on the Madden Share community and experiment with yourself. And obviously, if you want to change the players or adjust their ratings or whatever, at that point, it's your roster. You can do whatever you want with it. I don't care. So this is a very interesting experiment and a very fun experiment, at least at the beginning. I don't know how fun it's going to be when we actually get into it. But let's go see. Oh, I'm also on the LA Rams. I put them on the LA Rams because I figured if we're going to be taking NBA players and putting them in the NFL, this is a high top tier story. Like, this is breaking news on every single news outlet in the entire world, not just in the United States. This is breaking across the globe. And so a state that would have that much power would be California, and a team that would have that much power would be the Rams. So the superstars in Hollywood, it makes the most sense. So I just put them on the LA Rams, and our head coach is going to be Steve Kerr, because if you're going to have all these superstar NBA players on an NFL team, you need a superstar head coach that can deal with all these different personalities switching over to another sport, have to learn a new sport. So Steve Kerr, I feel like he can do a good job in that. And also, they didn't really have a very diverse head coaching head model in Madden that I could line up with. Who can I see looks generally like a real life head coach? And I found the one model that I used, and I was like, you know what, that's It's not close, but it's close enough, if you know what I mean. So Steve Kerr is who we picked. But I'm very excited about this. Obviously, we're going to be very, very bad. And I don't even know how this is going to really work. I don't know if we're going to simulate one season or multiple seasons. I don't know. We're going to find out, though. If you're going to enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let me know down below in the comments if you want to see any other videos like this where we rebuild teams with weird stipulations. Excuse me. Or like weird things attached to them, basically, or weird rosters, or whatever you want to see. Let me know down below in the comments. I've got some other ideas in my little like idea notebook thing that I'm going to do in the future. But for right now, we've got this one, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy. Let's get into it. Okay, we're ready to show the roster right now. Now, I want you to be aware that the player faces don't look like the real NBA players. That's just the way that it is. You can't make them look like they look. But there is one player that I'll show you that actually does look like his player, which is hilarious. But here we are. This is our lineup of NBA players on offense. We'll go through them one by one to show you. First off, we have Nikola Jokic. And I chose Nikola Jokic to be our quarterback because I thought it'd be fun. He's 6'11", 284, and these are all their current day ages, so some of these older players that I've chosen are going to be super old, but they are all rookies. And I've chosen Nikola Jokic because in the NBA, he's one of the most, maybe the best court vision players in the entire league. Like, he's got the best vision to pass the ball and all kinds of different stuff. So I figured he'd be the best to have. Excuse me. I figured he would be the best to have the quarterback position. He's got great awareness, decent throw power. His accuracies are all okay. But the fun part is he's 6'11" at quarterback. So that's going to be pretty fun to see behind center. Then we have at running back, we have Allen Iverson. And Allen Iverson's an interesting one because I was going through NBA players and I was trying to figure out who could I have at running back. And then I Googled some like NBA players that have dabbled in football. And Allen Iverson was one of the ones that kept coming up consistently as a guy who was a two-sport athlete in high school and was actually like really, really good at football. He was like a dual threat quarterback, played running back a little bit. And since we already had Jokic at quarterback, I was like, let's just pop him in at running back. And so AI is going to be our running back. He's decent. He's got good burst to him, but he's not like your greatest running back of all time, as you can see by his overall. But he's one of the few legendary players that I chose. I had to dive into the legendary players for some of the more obscure NFL positions because for obvious reasons, like offensive linemen. But we'll get into that in a second. At wide receiver, I chose De'Aaron Fox, Dwayne Wade, and Kobe Bryant. Now, I chose De'Aaron Fox because he's one of the fastest players in the NBA, if not the fastest player in the NBA. So I figured, I mean, if he's that fast on the NBA court, he could probably be decently fast in an NFL sprint. So we're going to have him on the team as one of our wide receivers. Then I had Dwayne Wade on the team because his nickname in the NBA was literally The Flash. So I feel like that was kind of obvious to have him as a wide receiver on the team. And then we have Kobe Bryant, RIP to the Mamba. I picked him because he's got, in one of the articles that I read, he was like, one of the people was like filling out an NFL starting lineup with NBA players, and they had Kobe Bryant at wide receiver. And I was like, well, that's interesting. So I put Kobe Bryant at wide receiver. He's decent, 6'6". That's always pretty awesome for a wide receiver. Now, the fun thing about NBA players and their build compared to NFL players, obviously NFL players, if you get a player that's like 6'4", 6'4", 6'5", you're going to be a monster, especially if you're built. Like if you're 225 at 6'4", you're unbelievable. Think of Derrick Henry. Think how big Derrick Henry is, and think of how different he would look if he was in the NBA. Just think of that comparison. He'd still look massive, but he would not be the Derrick Henry you think of on an NBA court. So if you convert that from NBA players to the NFL, you think like De'Aaron Fox and Dwayne Wade are small on an NBA court, but Dwayne Wade is 6'4". So he might be small on an NBA court, but going up against NFL wide receivers, he's massive. So, or NFL corners, I mean. He's absolutely massive. So those are our 3 wide receivers. That is our entire skill position, along with LeBron James, I guess. I had to put LeBron James on here. Come on. He's probably the excuse me. He's probably the most famous NBA player what if for NFL, because there was like rumors that they wanted him to play football in high school, but he didn't. He chose basketball and stuff. Like there's been a bunch of rumors over the years of LeBron potentially playing football. And so I put him on here and he's LeBron James. He's the greatest of all time. So I had to put him on here. Now, the offensive line is where we had to get a little bit in our bag. So obviously in the NBA, there's not that many heavy players because you're not going to be that heavy and running up and down a court for an entire basketball game, an entire season. So it's rare occurrences for super, super heavy players. So I had to get pretty creative. I literally Googled the heaviest players in NBA history, and that's where I came up with a couple of these players. So, at the left tackle spot, we have the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, 7 foot, 359 pounds. Now, I know that Shaq's weight has fluctuated throughout his career. I picked it at his heaviest. Probably, excuse me. Probably at the end of his career. That's when he was getting a little heavier. He's got 99 strength because he's the Big Diesel, but he's not really that good at anything else, to be honest. So it is kind of not going to be great against elite NFL pass rush, but it was slim pickings for offensive linemen. Charles Barkley, and the reason I picked Charles Barkley, even though he's not massive, even though for the NBA that's pretty big, 6'6", 252, and he's literally nicknamed the round bound rebound. But I picked Charles Barkley because of his face model. I was going through, I hadn't chosen who I wanted to be at this position yet, and I was going through some of the models, and I looked at that guy, and I was like, who does that remind me of? And I said, you know what? That kind of looks like Charles Barkley. So I picked Charles Barkley, and it just so happens that Charles Barkley's kind of heavy. Not super heavy, but 252's pretty light for a guard, super light for a guard. But we're going to have to make it work. Then at center, we have the heaviest player to ever play in the NBA, Oliver Miller, 6'9", 374, or 375. He's legit the heaviest player that's ever played in the NBA. I looked it up. He was at the top of the list on multiple different lists. So Oliver Miller will be our center. I don't know much about him. I remember him a little bit on the Timberwolves, but I don't know too much about Oliver Miller. But I know that he's our starting center. Then we have Eddie Curry at right guard because he's one of the heavier players in NBA history. At least at one point he was. 352. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these guys all work. And then at right tackle, so not only do we have one left tackle who is 7 foot, we also have a right tackle who is 7 foot. Now, obviously, Yao Ming is like 7'5" in real life or something like that, 7'4", something crazy. But the game caps you at 7 feet, so he's only 7 feet tall, and he's 310 pounds. So he is our right tackle. And I know Yao Ming is very lanky in real life. You can't really make NFL players in this game lanky. They're kind of just always the same build in the game, so it's kind of annoying, but I did my best. So that is our entire offense. You've met the entire team. I had to cut and release all of the real Rams players that were higher overalls so that when I auto-generated the best lineups, all of these guys would start. So I had to, and I was going to cut all the starters anyway, obviously. But then I had to sign some backups that were lower overall than all these guys. And I apologize if you don't like my ratings for the guys. I did my best, but it's kind of hard to transition people from the NBA to the NFL. It's kind of impossible. They'd probably all be really, really bad, obviously, but I had to give myself a fighting chance at least. So they're all in the low 70s, high 60s. And they can all jump out of the gym. That's one of the big points. All of their jumping, because they're NBA players. Man, I apologize for my coughing. I'm getting over some sickness. But all of their jumping is very, very good because obviously they're NBA players. And the one that I wanted to show you is Bam Adebayo, because when I saw this guy, I was like, that looks like Bam Adebayo. Out of all of the the player models that Madden has in their game, the Bam Adebayo one looks the closest. And I don't know how I've never put that together, maybe because I've never thought of Bam Adebayo in the NFL before this video. That, I mean, looking at it now, I mean, that guy doesn't obviously look exactly like Bam, because nobody looks exactly like anybody except for a twin. But that is about as close as you're going to get to a fake generated player model that a video game has, a bad video game actually, of a real life player, real life person. So I thought that was pretty fun. So I was like, you know what? That makes the video in itself, is that Bam's player model looks kind of like him. We also have Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant as our pass rushers, because I thought it'd be pretty fun. And, I mean, Kevin Durant's like 6'11" or something like that. So even though he doesn't like to be thought of as almost 7 feet tall, even though he pretty much is, he's going to be outside there. I mean, we have such a tall team, which is what I was talking about on the offensive side with like the wide receivers. You may think that like Steph Curry is tiny for the NBA, because he is. He's like 6'2", but a 6'2" corner is huge in the NFL. That's a really 6'2", 185. I'd be very happy to have that as a corner in the NFL. So that's pretty awesome. And I had to include Steph Curry in this team. Of course I did. We also have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and we have Luka Doncic as our corners. And Luka's like 6'7". So we have a 6'7" corner on our team. Then on the defensive line, we have Giannis, and we have Meta World Peace. I was going to just call him Ron Artest, and then I looked him up, and he had changed his name again. I didn't realize he changed it to Meta Sandiford Artest. I apologize. I haven't kept up with him. So I kept it legit. I changed it to his actual legit government name now. So that is the Ron Artest, or Meta World Peace, or however you want to call him. I'll probably call him different names throughout the video. Then we have Carlos Boozer and Glenn Baby Davis as the 2D tackles, because there was like an article that I found that was saying like some of the stronger NBA players and who would be like a good defensive lineman in the NFL. And one of the things said Carlos Boozer, because he's got like real old man strength. These guys, like, so I was like, you know what? Carlos Boozer is a fun thing. So I only dabbled a little bit in the legendary pool to get some of these guys, because it's hard to fill out a whole NFL starting lineup for each side of the ball with NBA players. So that is our defensive line and corners. Our safeties are Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Edwards. Kawhi Leonard, known for his great defense. And I want to show you something. The funny thing is, I don't have injuries on in this, but I did I did turn his injury down to 0 just because I thought that'd be funny. I did the same thing with our kicker. I'll show you in a second. I think I did, at least. But here's Kawhi Leonard. He's 6'7". That is pretty fun to have in the secondary for sure. We're definitely going to be mossing some people, I would hope. And then if we can keep up with them, at least. And then Anthony Edwards is our strong safety. So that is our entire defense and offense. Here is our special teams. This is where it gets fun. So we have Joel Embiid and Draymond Green as our 2 kicker and punter. And if you get the references, good for you, because that's why I did them. But also, Joel Embiid, I think, was like a pretty decent soccer player when he was younger. I think he's from the Cameroon. So when he was like in high school or something, he was like a pretty decent soccer player before he came to the States and played basketball. So I thought it'd be pretty fun to make him a kicker. And it's also just fun because he's a big flopper and he kicks his legs out a lot. So I thought that'd be pretty fun to have him as the kicker too. And I did make his injury 0. Nice. And I also have his stamina pretty low too, because he never plays. All right. Joel Embiid, and obviously Draymond as the punter makes complete sense. So that is our entire team. Every NBA player I chose for each position. I don't know how this is going to go. Like I said, this could go very bad. I am, to give myself the best playbooks, or the best chances possible, I gave myself the best playbooks. I gave myself there's a good look at Steve Kerr, by the way. We're an Andy Reid offense, Kansas City offense, and then Steeler Mike Tomlin defense, because I feel like we need the best chance to simulate well. So that's the playbooks we're going to go with. And obviously we're going to jump into some games to see all these guys on the field and see how they play. But let's just simulate like halfway through the year, see how we do, and then we can kind of jump in and kind of have some fun, because I don't think we're going to do very well. Okay, so I simulated to around week 8, the midseason mark, and we are actually 2-4, so we've won games. We didn't win very much. As you can see, that one Raider game, the previous game that we played, was only 7-3. So we're not, I'm assuming we're not winning games very massively, but we've won 2 games. And the one thing that I forgot to mention before starting simulating, I don't know how these guys are gonna upgrade or develop in general, because some of them are like really old, like Shaq and Charles Barkley and all the offensive linemen are super old. LeBron's old, Iverson's old, Kobe's old. The defense is slightly younger, but all these guys are old, except for like Luka and Shea and Anthony Edwards and maybe Tatum and Bam. But the rest of these guys are kind of old, so I don't know how we're gonna like develop. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of confused on how many years we're gonna go, because I don't know what if they retire. I made them all rookies. But I don't know how they're going to look season after season. So we've made it to week 8. Can we see how we're doing at least? Not here. We might have to go. They need to just have it so that you can see your own player stats without having to go into this. So Jokic has thrown 9 interceptions and 13 touchdowns. This could be a very Kansas City playbook, very leaning on that, very dependent on that kind of stat line, but that's a very favorable splits. Iverson not doing great. LeBron leads the team in receiving yards so far. Probably because he's playing the Travis Kelce role. Are we giving up a lot of sacks? Yeah, from the Yao Ming spot. We're giving up a lot of sacks. Not surprised. We're getting a lot of tackles, though. I don't think we'll have a guy that surpasses 100 tackles. I'd be shocked if we did. But we might get somebody who gets like 60 or 70. We do have a few sacks, so the pass rush is there a little bit. Stupid Jacob Hummel's getting some playtime, unfortunately. And we have 3 interceptions from Luka. I mean, he's 6'7". You'd think he'd get some. And then Anthony Edwards has one as well. Okay. Any pick sixes, though? No pick sixes. Okay. Very interesting. And I did choose no college for Luka, since he's obviously from like Slovenia or something, but it gave him Abilene Christian for some reason. How's Joel Embiid done? He kicked a 39-yarder. Okay, Joel. Good for you. And then Draymond's been punting the crap out of these footballs. 1,000 yards already. All right, so far through the year, the stats are okay. I mean, they're not blowing anybody away, but I didn't expect them to. I kind of want to jump in here. Yeah, I kind of want to jump in and just see what happens, because I'm super curious about this team and how they look on the field. I mean, everybody's so tall. I want to see what happens. So we're going to jump into this game against the Vikings, and we're going to see how this goes. Okay, our first moment, we have a 3rd down opportunity. Let's just see the height difference on all these guys. I mean, look at how massive everybody is. This is hilarious. Look at Jokic back there. Shaq and Yao Ming on the side. Look at Shaq and Charles Barkley next to each other. That's hilarious. Let's see how this goes. Am I going to have time to do anything? Jokic, he finds De'Aaron Fox, but he drops it. Not surprising. But look at the defense. The defense is doing a decent job. We've held the Vikings to no points so far. Hummel's, I might have to cut Hummel because he's still getting playtime. Can we get any defensive pressure? End zone interception. I'm pressing triangle, nothing happens, and it's a touchdown Vikings. Our defense needs help again. Okay, now the defense might be starting to get cooked a little bit. 6'11", Kevin Durant. Yeah, I might have to cut some extra people here. They're getting playtime they shouldn't be getting. Can Kevin Durant get any pass rush? End zone this time. Am I not going to get any animations? I mean, that's 2 interceptable balls. That is 2 interceptable passes that I just didn't get. Okay. Who do we go for here? We saw De'Aaron Fox drop a pass, so let's go for somebody new. Let's go underneath the Kobe. Never mind, incomplete pass. I probably should hit LeBron on the next level. I didn't really think about that. Should we try kick a field goal with Joel Embiid? Look at the difference. This is crazy. Joel Embiid with, I think it's Brian Hoyer holding it for him. I'm not 100% sure who the backup quarterback is. Let's see how Joel Embiid does. We're in a dome, so don't have to worry about the wind. As long as I can nail this. Uh-oh, that's a little bit too crazy. It had the power, just I got a little too much power on it. But look at a 7-foot Joel Embiid kick a field goal. It's hilarious. Oh, it's Stetson Bennett. That's who the backup quarterback is. That's right. I don't know why the defense is playing so well. I'm not going to be able to get that snap off in my... Darn it. The defense has only allowed 14 points, which is hilarious. I don't know why we've only allowed that many points. Oh, we get to see Draymond Green. So we get to see everybody. There goes Draymond. I couldn't get the numbers all correct. It just... Every time I changed it for some reason, it would like crash on me. So I just gave up, basically, to try to get the numbers all correct. And some people, they obviously wear the same number as another person on another team. So it was easier just to not change the numbers. Some of them have correct numbers. Like LeBron's got 23, Kobe's got 8. So I got a couple of them right. Let's try to get that to Kobe. Speaking of, and it's going to be incomplete. Okay, I haven't completed a pass with Jokic yet. I want to score 1 touchdown, man. I want to score a touchdown. I want to just chuck a deep ball. We've got De'Aaron Fox. Just send him deep and see what happens. If I get the time, I might try it. Oh my God, it worked! It actually worked. We are on all Madden difficulty, by the way. Nikola Jokic just chucked a deep ball to De'Aaron Fox. I never thought I'd see the day. I mean, he's one of the fastest players in the NBA. So it makes sense he'd be fast in a straight line in the NFL. He kind of got a little bit of a rub-off, pause, by Byron Murphy, but touchdown nonetheless. That's pretty fun. I like that we got that. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a big-time touchdown before we left the game. I might just do it again. Maybe let's try Wade this time. See if Wade's got something. His nickname was literally the Flash. Now he wasn't the fastest NBA player in the NBA. Oh my God! It's gonna work again! It's gonna work again! Dwayne Wade breaks a couple of tackles. We're gonna have back-to-back. I should have been doing that the whole game. Okay, I will show you. It is on all Madden difficulty. We are on all Madden difficulty, just so you don't think I'm doing it on like rookie or on arcade mode or whatever. This is all Madden difficulty. That's a huge one. If I would have been doing that all game, we might have been able to win this one. But we lose. Jokic had 313 yards. That's hilarious. Okay, now that we jumped in and got some gameplay, I'm going to simulate the end of the season. I think what I've decided to do is I'm going to simulate a couple of years just to kind of see the progression and see how these guys develop if they do. I'm not going to use any draft picks or anything because I want to keep this solely the NBA players on the team. So I'm going to simulate the year. We're going to get through the playoffs because we're not going to be in the playoffs. And then we'll get through the offseason very quickly. We're not going to sign any free agents or anything like that. So, yeah, I guess I'll just see you when I see you. We got to the Super Bowl, and somehow, some way, I guess this just proves you how broken the Chiefs playbook is, a combination of that and the Steelers. We won 7 games. This roster has no business winning 7 games with a bunch of 60s and 70 overall players. We do have some depth trait progression, though. LeBron James goes up to star. De'Aaron Fox goes up to star. Bam gets superstar. Kawhi gets star. Bam gets super. He must have won an award or something. He must have been best linebacker. Or maybe rookie of the year or something. I don't know how he would have gone from normal to superstar just like in one season. Oh my God, yeah, these are Kansas City Chief playbook numbers if I've ever seen them. I mean, 4,200 yards, 38 touchdowns, 18 picks from a sub-70 overall quarterback. Yeah, Chiefs playbook is kind of crazy. No 1,000-yard rusher, but Iverson got decently close. Can't get mad at him too much. LeBron with the Chiefs playbook in the Kelsey role got 1,000 yards. Fox got close. Dwayne Wade did okay. Kobe did okay. Iverson had some few catches through the air. Then how did the offensive line do? So Shaq led up the most sacks. 10 is not as bad as you would think. Like, Barkley only allowed 2. But in 17 games, he played all the downs, which I don't know. There's no injuries on, so I don't know why everybody didn't play all the downs. But whatever. Only allowing 10 sacks when he's not that good. I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought it'd be a lot more. And we do get over 100 tackles from 2 different people. I would have bet we didn't. Bam gets 124. Kevin Durant gets 101. 8 tackles for loss for Giannis. 7 for this guy we don't care about. 7 for Glenn Davis. Kevin Durant got 6. Sack leader was Tatum with 7. 6 for Giannis. Meta World Peace had 3. Boozer had 2.5. 2. Interception leader, we started to get a few of them. I would hope so. I mean, we got a bunch of giants on our team. Luka had 4. Bam had 3. So I'm assuming Bam won Defensive Rookie of the Year with these numbers. Maybe, at least he won Best Line. I don't know what he won, but he went up to Superstar. Shea got 2. A few guys had 1. How did Joel Embiid do? He missed a couple kicks, but he kicked a 50-yarder. Okay, didn't miss a single extra point, but he kicked a 50-yarder. Good job, Joel. And 2,600 yards of punts, averaging 50 per punt. Draymond, you should have had punting as your career, not NBA, because you look like you could be a pretty good punter. But that is pretty fun. I like that. The Chiefs and Steelers playbook helped us out so much that we had so many numbers that we should not have had. So we'll get through this. We'll see. We'll check what award Bam won. Now, obviously, we're going to have a lot of cap room, but we're not going to spend it, obviously. We'll upgrade these non-important players. And then we'll take a look at the season recap. So, Bam does win. My camera's covering it, but Bam does win the Defensive Rookie of the Year, which is hilarious. We don't win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's Ladd McConkey, but we do get a Defensive Rookie of the Year, which is Bam Adebayo, which is not something I would have had on the goal sheet for this video, is to win Rookie of the Year with somebody. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I guess Bam just dominated in the Steeler playbook. And it makes sense that Tatum would have a lot of sacks because he's playing the TJ Watt role, so it would make sense that he'd put up a lot of numbers. If he was a better overall player, he'd probably be putting up even more numbers. Let's just make sure that none of our guys... I think everybody that I created automatically goes on to like a 3-year contract. So maybe that's all the seasons that we'll simulate, just 3 years. So that we can see kind of a good baseline of how these guys would simulate. They already won 7 games in year 1. And like I said, we're not going to go through any free agency. We're not going to see the draft or anything like that. And it looks like we have lost everybody. What the heck? Where the heck is everybody? Hold on. Did I make a mistake? Where's my entire team at? Okay, everybody's on the team. Right? Or did we lose everybody? Wait. There's no tight ends there. What happened to our entire offensive line? What happened? Did they all get to free agency? I could have sworn they were all in 3-year contracts. Jokic is still on the team. Did Iverson get here? Let's start by age, because they're going to be old anyway. Okay, Iverson's not here. Wide receivers? No. Tight ends? Where's LeBron at? LeBron's not in free agency. Where the heck are all my players at? Shaq's not here. Chuck's not here. They're not in free agency, but they're not on my team. I'm very confused on where all my players are at. What? Okay, let's get through this and see what happens. They might have all retired. Oh, I didn't think about that. That just popped in my head, didn't it? They might have all retired. I completely forgot about that because they're all so old. That's what happened to them. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So now, okay, what we're going to do now is, since we can't go 3 seasons in one singular save, since all of our players are going to retire, we'll do 3 different seasons of simulation by resetting the franchise every time. So this was year number 1. We went 7-10, and we played probably better than I thought. So I'm going to reset the save, and we'll get back to week number 1. We'll simulate again, and we'll see if we can do better than 7-10 this time. I didn't even think about them retiring. So I'm glad that I thought about that, because I would have been super confused. But we'll reset the save, and then we will simulate again and see if we can do better than 7-10. It is a good thing that I saved at the beginning of the year, because that would have been pretty annoying that we would only had 1 year of simulation. So we've got it back. We are back at week number 1 with the same original roster. Now that I know that these guys are going to retire after the first year, we can have that knowledge, and we can reset it and not have to go through the re-signing period and all that kind of stuff. We can just, after the Super Bowl, we can just simulate again. Maybe that way we can get to maybe 5 seasons of simulation. Maybe that will give us a better baseline. But let's simulate this year. Since we already had some gameplay, we won't have any gameplay this time. We'll simulate right to the playoffs, and maybe this time we'll be in it? I doubt it, but you never know. I mean, we won 7 games in year 1. I didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, so after the second simulation attempt, we won 7 games again. So it seems like this team is just destined with these playbook combinations to win 7 games. Very interesting. We obviously didn't make the playoffs. Did we get any good like level ups or anything? It seems like the morale is kind of killing us right now. We haven't got to the Super Bowl yet, so we don't see any dev trade upgrades. Why don't we do that really quick? Why don't we simulate to the Super Bowl so we can see if there's any dev trade upgrades? Because in the first year, Bam won the Rookie of the Year, so I'm curious if he's going to do it again, or maybe somebody on the defense is going to do it this time, like Tatum. I don't know. This time it's a Falcons-Ravens Super Bowl. I think it was a Lions and Chiefs one in the first time. Tatum gets an upgrade point. Cool. Do we get any upgrades for the good guys? LeBron goes up again. That's not a shock. Tatum, he might have won it. So Giannis gets star, Bam gets star, and Tatum gets superstar. LeBron gets star, Kobe gets star. So a couple new guys like Giannis, Tatum, and Kobe. Because I think De'Aaron had it the first time. But Tatum might have won Rookie of the Year this time, which is super cool. That's pretty awesome. So we'll go and check the stats, and then we will re-rack it for Season 3. Stats on the year for the NBA players. Jokic puts up pretty similar numbers again in the Kansas City playbook. I think maybe we'll do 3 years. This is year number 2, so maybe we do 3 years of simulation with the Kansas City Chiefs Steelers playbook, and then maybe we do a year or 2 with a different playbook, see if there's any like change in wins, because we went the same amount of wins with 7-10, so it's kind of weird. Iverson puts up similar rushing numbers. I think maybe yet less yards. I'm not 100% sure. Kobe actually puts up 1,100 yards this time. He was not at the top, I don't think. I think it was De'Aaron Fox and LeBron at the top last year. LeBron again puts up big numbers, 1,000 yards. The most sacks given up, 13 from Yao Ming, 12 from Shaq. That's more, double digits is more what I expect. 124 tackles from Bam. Bam always puts up big numbers. That's the second year in a row. He didn't win Rookie of the Year this year. I think that went to Tatum because it looks like Tatum had 14 and a half sacks. So no wonder he won Defensive Rookie of the Year this year. I wonder if that's going to happen every single time. Curry with 5 interceptions, though. I wonder if that's going to happen every single time. If we're going to get a guy who wins Defensive Rookie of the Year in the Steeler playbook. I guess we'll find out. Season recap. We get Lamar winning Super Bowl MVP, and we actually got both Rookies of the Year this year. Kobe and Jason Tatum take home rookies of the year, both offensively and defensively. So that's something we didn't get last year. We didn't win it in year number 1 with the simulation. So we get it something new this time, but we still get the same record. So we will refresh everything, reset everything back to the beginning, and we'll simulate another year, year number 3, and we will see if we get anything new. Preferably more wins, but who knows? We have reset the team back to the beginning for year number 3 simulation. Technically, it's still year number 1, obviously, but it's the third cycle of simulation of year number 1 because everybody's going to retire. And that is on me. I probably should have made the guys younger. Excuse me. But I uploaded the roster to the community share so you guys can download the roster and change the ages if you want. You can't do it through the main screen. You got to do it in the franchise, but you can still change the ages. So let's simulate another year, the third year of simulation, see if we get any changes. We have back-to-back defensive players of the year, 2 different players, but back-to-back defensive player of the year, 1 rookie of the year with Kobe Bryant, and then we've had 7 wins both years. So are we going to get any changes, any ups, any downs? Let's find out. We finished up year number 3 of the simulation, or the third simulation, and we actually changed our record, got 1 win better at 8-9, but this time we made the playoffs. So obviously something is going right this year. I don't know what's different. These are very similar numbers. A few more touchdowns from Jokic, though. More rushing yards for Allen Iverson. Only 1,000-yard receiver, and it's not even LeBron or Kobe. It's De'Aaron Fox this time. Kobe had 17 touchdowns, though. Less sacks given up is nice. 130 tackles this time from Bam. Not too many. I mean, a lot of sacks, but not like double digits like we had last year. And then nobody with 5 picks. Okay, so the numbers are very consistent. They're very similar, very even around the 3 different simulations so far. But we actually made the playoffs. So I guess we simulate and find out what's going to happen here. And we lose the first game. Okay. I didn't... Excuse me. I didn't expect us to win a championship by any means, but I thought we maybe would win 1 game. That didn't happen. So let's go to the Super Bowl, see if we are going to maybe get some depth trade upgrades like we have in the past. If we go to adjust the lineup, who's got depth trade upgrades? So we get LeBron and Kobe. Kobe goes up, but that's all in the offense. Defensively, Bam gets superstar, and that's it. So we've had some very interesting things happen. So Bam, 2 years in a row, or 2 years out of the 3, has gone from normal to superstar. The other guy was Tatum. So I'm guessing Bam won Defensive Rookie of the Year again this year with the 130 tackles he put up. So at least we improved by a win. So it seems like this team, these high 60s, low 70 overall guys, combined with these 2 playbooks, are going to put up probably a 7 to 9 win range, is what I'm kind of guessing. And it looks like we go back to back on Rookies of the Year. So Kobe wins it again offensively, and Bam wins it. So we've won the Defensive Rookie 3 straight times, and we've won the Offensive Rookie of the Year 2 straight times, and Kobe won it both times. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. So we're going to run it back for a 4th simulation, and we are going to see if changing the playbooks, because we've been running Kansas City offense, Steeler defense the first 3 times. We're going to run it back with different playbooks, and maybe that'll change some things. Maybe it'll make it worse, or maybe it'll make it better. I guess the only thing to do is find out. Okay, so I've decided for year 4, we're going to switch to Buffalo offense and Baltimore Raven defense. I think those 2 could be a good combination. We'll see how that mixture of playbooks works. We won 7 games in year 1, 7 games in year 2, and 8 games and made the playoffs in year number 3, and we'll see how the stats kind of fluctuate with the new playbooks and stuff. So let's simulate year number 4 and see any differences. So it seems that this combination of playbooks was a bad idea. We win 4 games this year, which is very shocking. I mean, Baltimore defense is a pretty decent playbook in Madden, and so is, I mean, both these playbooks are two of the better ones that you can use. And yet, I guess with this combination of bad players, high 60s, low 70s type players, those playbooks can't hard carry as much as a Chiefs playbook can, I guess. I don't know. But these are some of the better numbers Jokic has put up. I mean, 30 touchdowns, 13 picks is fairly solid, along with 4,100 yards. And he also ran a little bit more. That's probably a little bit of a problem. We shouldn't have that because he's in the Josh Allen style. So Josh Allen's running a little bit. Iverson had good numbers. De'Aaron Fox put up 1,100 yards. Interesting. How about sacks? Wow, the least amount of sacks we've given up. Very interesting. 137 tackles from Bam, so he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year again. Although I see Giannis down there put up 10 sacks. Giannis finally makes an impact because he's probably be in the Greg Rousseau role or something. So he put up 10 sacks. Interceptions, we got more spread out, but just like one apiece. A couple guys with multiple. Very interesting. Giannis gets 10 sacks this time. He hasn't done anything the entire sim, at least anything of note. And this time he gets 10 sacks. I'm thinking for the final year, we do Niner offense. No dev traits on the offense. Okay, here we go. More well-rounded. Usually it was just like one or two guys. But this time it's four guys. Bam, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, and Giannis. But nobody goes like automatically to superstar. So I'm guessing none of them won Rookie of the Year. I mean, they gave Bam Rookie of the Year with 100 plus or 130 tackles last time. Would they do it again? They would not. Jared Verse gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. Bucky Irving gets Offensive Rookie of the Year. Final year of simulation, we're going to do a fifth year. This will be the final year of the video. And I think I'm going to do Niner offense and Dallas defense. I think those are going to be the two playbooks that I use. And we'll see if they compare any better to this 4-win season, because this was kind of awful. I guess I'm not going to be using this combination of playbooks in any of my simulation rebuilds going in the future. I've got it in San Francisco offense and Dallas defense, like I said. I've also haven't changed these the entire time. This defensive scheme and offensive scheme have been the same the entire time. I don't know if that has affected anything or not. But I wanted to keep the 4-3 because I have more NBA players on the defensive line than I do on the linebacking side. So I wanted to have 4 down linemen so that we could have all the guys play. So that's why I did it like that. But I haven't changed the schemes at all. It's just been changing the playbooks. So we are now running San Francisco offense, Dallas defense. Oh, and a little fun fact. I don't know if you know this or not. I just been backing out and resetting the franchise every single time from my first save point, which was right here. And if you do that, and you auto-generate the draft class every single time, you get the same draft class that was always going to be. So it's not technically fully auto-generated because if I would think, if it was me personally, I would think that even if it's the same save file, it would still give you a different draft class every single time because you didn't save it. So just spit out a bunch of random players each time. But no, if you back out of a franchise before loading in the draft class, it's always going to give you the same one. So I don't know if anybody knew that or anybody cared, but I found it out today in this video, so I thought I'd share it with you. Maybe it's super obvious. I don't know. I didn't know about it, so there you go. But we have the Niner offense and the Dallas defense. I'm very curious to see if this does better, because the Dallas defense is one of the best defensive playbooks in the game, so I'm assuming it's going to do pretty well. I don't know about the Niner offense. I mean, the Niners did just make the Super Bowl in that last simulation, so I know the Niner playbook is pretty good. I don't know if anything is going to be the Chiefs, though. I guess we'll find out. Let's simulate the final year and see how the team does. So in the final year of our experiment, we won 8 games, but didn't make the playoffs this time. So last time we won 8 games, we did sneak into the playoffs, but this time we don't. So it seems like no matter the playbook combination you do, you're always going to get around that 7 to 9 win range with this amalgamation of players. That's kind of the experiment results that I'm seeing. And Jokic put up more interceptions than he probably has ever had, but very similar yards and touchdown numbers. Iverson has similar rushing numbers. De'Aaron Fox has been the consistent leader in the clubhouse with receiving yards, which is not a big shock because he's the fastest wide receiver on the team, so it's not that big of a shock. And it looks like the sack numbers did get a little bit higher now, at least for Yao Ming. 136 tackles for Bam, 98 for Kevin Durant. No big-time sack leader. I thought somebody would take the Micah Parsons spot, but I guess nobody did. And then interceptions, a lot of interceptions. Bam had 4. Luka had 5. I mean, he is 6 foot. Well, he's supposed to be 6'7", but it looks like it dropped him to 6'6". That's pretty awesome. 5 interceptions for him. The Dallas playbook does give you a lot of interceptions. I have noticed that throughout my time simulating. But again, we don't make the playoffs. So we made the playoffs one time in the 5 years of simulating, and that was with the Chiefs and Steelers combination. I think my end results, my end theory, would be if you're going to do this yourself with this roster, I would choose the Chiefs playbook because that's obviously the best one in the entire game of Madden. And then you can choose whatever defense playbook you want. I would recommend the Steeler one because you get a lot of production from the TJ Watt position, and then like the DBs do pretty well, and the defensive line does decent. So it's pretty much an overall pretty well-rounded playbook. So I would suggest that as the combination, but I would also suggest that you probably should jump in and play the games yourself instead of just letting the simulation handle it, because simulation can be pretty unforgivable when it comes to Madden. Iverson actually, for the first time in this 5 years, has gone up to star. And then on defense, Bam has superstar. But that's it on defense. We might have another rookie of the year. He has to, if he went up to superstar from normal. Season recap. And he did. And Iverson won rookie of the year. So we get Allen Iverson winning offensive rookie of the year, and then Bam winning defensive rookie of the year. So out of all the 5 years, we won defensive rookie of the year 4 times. We won offensive rookie of the year 3 times. Or 4 times. No, 3 times. Because Kobe won it twice, and then Iverson won it. So 3 out of the 5. And then we won it 4 out of the 5 with defense. So, I mean, the playbooks are putting the guys in good positions. It's just they're so low overall that it's hard for them in 1 year to make the jump. Maybe if I didn't make them so old, and we go actually another year in the same save file where they have a chance to grow and develop, maybe we see different results. Maybe they make the playoffs. Maybe they win more than 7 games or 8 games. Maybe they win 10 games or 11 games and they make a playoff run. Who knows? That's all a possibility, but we won't know unless I go back and in the save file and change their ages, which I could do, but I'm not going to do it in this video because I just want to have these 5 years of a little experiment to see what would happen. But that is going to do it for this video. I thought it was a pretty fun one. I enjoyed it. I apologize again for my coughing throughout. I'm still getting over some sickness that I've been going through this past week, so it's been pretty brutal for me. I know it's probably been brutal for you to listen to. I apologize, but it's just how it's been. So, all right, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and it looks like we have retired some of our guys. So, this is a fun idea. I've always wanted to have a roster where NBA players were in the NFL, but nobody ever made it. And I was just finally sick and tired of, like, well, if nobody's going to make it, then I guess I'm going to have to make it. So I just sat down one day and decided to make it. I obviously didn't go full 53-man roster of NBA players, but I gave a starting 11 on each side of the ball and a backup here or there. So it's okay. If you want to download it, like I said in the beginning, it is on the Madden community share. I showed a picture of what it looks like on at some point in the beginning of the video. It is, I think it's just titled NBA players on Rams, and then my YouTube name, World of Juice YouTube, or something like that. So go search it up on rosters if you want to download it and have some fun with it. Experiment with it yourself. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.